Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday, the 14th of April 2025. In today's Millwall news, we'll start off with this. Alex Neil, Josh Coburn will be hugely important as Millwall mount a late playoff push and reiterates desire to keep the lonely striker at the club permanently. And this is from the southernnews.co.uk. Alex Neil thinks Josh Coburn will be hugely important as Millwall mount a late push for the playoffs. The Lions 1-0 win over Millwall on Saturday, April the 12th, has thrust Neil's side firmly into playoff contention, with Millwall just 2 points off 6th place Coventry City. The Sky Blues have a game in hand and play Hull City this evening, which is currently going on while I'm talking to you right now. And I'm bringing the score up on my phone, and for fuck's sake, Coventry have scored. It's 1-0. Okay. I'll let you know if that changes, but you'll probably already know by the time you watch the video. Coburn, on loan from Borough, was unable to face his parent club on the weekend, but has scored a number of key goals in recent weeks as the Lions have won 5 out of their last 7. The striker headed in a late win as Mill completed a 2-1 comeback win against Watford on March the 8th and netted the only goal of the game as the Lions beat third place Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on April the 8th. Neil believes the 22-year-old will play a crucial role in Mill's final 4 games of the season. I think he'll be hugely important, Neil said after the Lions win on Saturday. At Sheffield United, he put in an unbelievable performance. What I've been really big on getting into him in terms of his physicality is using his physical presence. I thought at Sheffield United, when Chris Wilder's moaning at me that he's beating up Robinson, I was buzzing because that doesn't happen very often. Jack normally likes a bit of a wrestle for a wrestle, but I thought Josh beat him up really. And that's what he's on our team to do, to make sure he's a physical presence. He's got really good feet for a big guy. He can score a goal. He's good in the air. He's got lots to his game. He just needs time. Mihailo is the same. We believe in them, two of them, and they get the time that's necessary here. When asked if he would like to keep Coburn after his loan ends, Neil said, "Oh, absolutely. I don't think that's any secret for Josh or for anybody else. I think he really enjoys it here. I've done it at Sunderland, but I very rarely play 2 up front. And it's never been my shape as a coach, although it might make you a little bit looser in the middle. But if your goal threat goes up times 5, it outweighs itself. I did it at Sunderland because I had Ellis Sims and Ross Stewart, and they were an absolute goal threat. The whole philosophy crap that I hear all the time about how people play, your job as a coach is to get the best players on the pitch and to come up with a system that suits them. I believe that's what I'm trying to do with these lads at the moment. It's working. And we have this from, again, the southernnews.co.uk, but George Honeyman. If we win 3 out of the last 4, let's see where it takes us. George Honeyman on Mill's playoff chances. So very negative. He only thinks we're going to win 3 out of the last 4, not 4 out of the last 4. George Honeyman said Millwall were going to continue taking it 1 game at a time after the Lions' 1-0 win over playoff rivals Middlesbrough on Saturday the 8th vaulted them into playoff contention. Millwall have hit a hot streak of form as they head into the business end of the season, winning 5 out of their last 7 games. Alex Neil's side now sit just 2 points off 6th place Coventry City, who have a game in hand and play away at Hull City this evening. A couple of the lads at the start of the week were sort of giving up, and we were going, let's just take 1 game at a time. And now it's almost like we're on a joke. Okay, 1 more game at a time, Honeyman said after the Lions beat Borough. If you look at it, it's 2 points. So obviously Coventry still has to play on Monday. But we have to just take care of the business ourselves. If we win 3 out of the last 4, let's see where it takes us. And that's obviously a big ask to then go and win 6 or 7 on the bounce in the Championship. But, we're feeling really good, and at least the next game is not in the 3 days. So, hopefully we'll have a nice little bit of recovery in the next few days, and we'll come out firing at Blackburn on Friday. We almost made a joke at the start, being like, oh, come on, we win this one and then we're in the playoff race sort of thing. And it's probably becoming a bit of reality. But, ultimately, it's still out of our hands. So we still don't really put too much pressure on it. We just want to go and win the next game and keep seeing where it takes us. Millwall headed into their clash with Borough with momentum after beating Portsmouth 2-1 at home the weekend before and securing an impressive 1-0 win away at third place Sheffield United on Tuesday, April the 8th. Honeyman thinks the Lions' recent good form set them up for success on Saturday. Oh, it's the beauty of football. You know, the atmosphere last weekend against Portsmouth was really amazing, and that sort of teed us up. We felt confident, you know. I don't know if it's the good weather, you know. Everyone's feeling good. I'm not sure. I thought we played really well in that game, and then we just keep teeing ourselves up for the next game. We played really well against Portsmouth. We got the victory, and then we're going into Sheffield United thinking, come on, all the pressure's on them. Let's put in a good performance, see what we can get. And we ended up putting in a really good performance, you know, winning the game. And we went in today, and again, it's all on Middlesbrough to win today. And they've had a tough week, and we knew that the Den was going to be a rocking again. It was a bit of a sticky first half, but, you know, I think it's the Championship. We played really well in the two previous games, and we hung in there. Then the second half, I think we pretty much dominated, and they didn't really create much up until the last minute. And it's just nice to be a part of. Mill struggled in the opening 45 minutes, and Neil made changes at half-time. He went 2 up top and replaced Luke Cundall with striker Macaulay Langstaff, while also changing how his side pressed and played out of possession. The Lions were vastly improved in the second half, with substitute Camille Negley scoring the game's decisive goal in the 65th minute. Oh, we changed off the ball because of how good Johnny Howson was at the back for them in distributing it to the spare man. As you probably saw, you know, I was chasing the left back a hell of a lot in the first half, and we were going to try and leave him spare, but that didn't end up happening. The manager tweaked things at half time, you know. The manager's very, very, very good tactically, and he can spot things what needs to be changed in the game. And he changed us about at half time. He brought on Maka up at top. And I think we had the momentum straight from the second half, to be honest. I had a chance, you know. I think Maka had a couple of things that didn't quite fall through, yeah. And he had a header back across goal. For them not going ahead in the first half, I think we felt that if they couldn't have played much better, and we can only come into the game more, and we were very confident that we were going to get something out of the game at half time. The Lions head into a crucial Easter weekend that will see them play twice in 4 days, away at Blackburn on Good Friday, then at home against Norwich on Easter Monday. I suppose it's no different from playing Saturday, Tuesday. I know it's an earlier game on the Monday, so it's not something that we're not used to, Honeyman said. But it's exciting, isn't it? You know, it's been a bit of a weird week that we've done so well and not really moved in the table. You know, again, it's the Championship, isn't it? Everyone's playing for something at this time of the year, but we've just to keep taking one game at a time, and I think we're just enjoying playing good football and being part of a winning team at the minute. You don't get any better feeling in football than being part of a team that's winning, and that's what we've been able to do this week and quite a lot this season, to be honest. Indeed. Obviously, he was one of the players taken off, but, you know, he played his part. He did what he had to do. Now, moving on to this. Football agent fees. The FA, I think today, have published... I don't know if it was today. It's from the period from the 2nd of February 2024 to the 3rd of February 2025. Kind of weird that they do that. I don't know why they're doing it like that. Oh, I guess because it's the transfer window closes at the end of January. So that would kind of make sense. So that this is literally covering 2 transfer windows. So this is covering summer 2024 and winter 2025 transfer windows. And here are the amounts paid to football agents net. Net total paid to football agents in the Premier League, 409 million. In the Championship, 63 million. Remember that because that's going to come in important in a minute. League 1, 7.5 million. League 2, 2.7 million. And in the National League system in total, less than $1 million. And they've even got the women's. They're paying agents in the women's game. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why? So what we can do is we can go down, because they break it down by club. So we can go down and see how much Millwall pay to agents. By clubs. This is football agents fees paid by clubs. Obviously not the players, but by the clubs. But I think, you know, I think obviously if a club wanted to hide this, what they could do is just they pay the player, they like bump up his wages, have a signing on fee, and then the player has to pay the agent. Yeah, they could. There is a way to hide certain things, but As you can see, Leeds United paid 18.8 million, and they are the standout leaders by far. The next closest seems to be Burnley with 5.3, and then Sheffield United with 4.4. And obviously, for some of these teams, that involves, because it goes from February to February, this involves teams that are currently in the Championship but were in different divisions the season before, such as Burnley and Sheffield United, and I don't know who was the other team that got relegated. I cannot remember for the life of me. Oh, Luton. And also, you can see the teams that came up, obviously, because they're in League One, they paid less money to agents than teams that were already in the Championship. So you've got Derby County with 700k, Oxford United with nearly 600k, Portsmouth 700k, Sheffield Wednesday. So if we look at Millwall are 1.1 million pounds paid to agents, and if we compare that around the way, so obviously Derby are less, Oxford is less, Portsmouth is less, Preston is less, Sheffield Wednesday is less, and there's another team that was less. Who was it? Plymouth Argyle, and then they just broke the million. But you can see, so we're not, even though we've started to buy all these younger players, we're not necessarily spending that much money in paying agents' fees. And that's interesting because obviously we're not buying the established players, we're buying the younger players. So to some extent, we're kind of doing them a favour by bringing them in. We're giving them a chance to play in the Championship. So they should be paying us, and they basically do. In that when we sell them, we get more money than we paid in. When we transfer fee received, then we pay for them. So they effectively do pay us for the chance to play at this level, to show what they can do, to hopefully move on to the Premier League or to other leagues around Europe. So there you go. So I think that's it, really. Yeah. So now we move on to this, which I don't know the point of doing this. So you can find this at the FA.com. You go to rules and governments. So they got a list of all the players who had business done in the windows, and that includes like new contracts, updated contracts, new registrations, which basically means a youngster coming up and being registered as a full-time professional for the first time. So again, it's in alphabetical order. This is Premier League. So if we just read the disclaimers, it says this information has been made publicly available pursuant to the FA Football Agent Regulations. The information has been included in good faith for football regulatory purposes only, and no undertaking, representation or warranty is given as to its accuracy, reliability or completeness. We cannot guarantee that any information displayed has not been changed or modified through malicious attacks or hacking. Kind of a weird thing to say. Do they often get axed at the FA? Kind of worrying. So we have to scroll down till we get to Millwall. And that's the Premier League. Now we're going to the Championship. And we're going down, 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 down. And here we go. So it's got the player's name. It's got the type of business that was done. New registration, permanent transfer in, loan, etc. New contract, so just when someone gets a new contract. The name of the agent, because the agents, you need an agent's license. Obviously, the thing is though, some of these will be working for companies. They have like international companies, but you'll have a named agent connected to the case. And then it says who they're representing. The player, the club, the coach, whatever. And it says, is there a subcontractor? Which I don't know what that means really. But let's have a look at what's going on anyway. So, interestingly, Alex Neil, new contract, Martin Leon. Now, this thing here. So, Alfie Massey, updated contract, new registration. So, they signed him to a pro deal, obviously, and then he played quite well in pre-season, and they probably he probably signed a 1-year deal. They extended that and probably give him a little bit more money, so he's listed as twice, and his agent is Frank Trimboli. If we go down and you can see, so Benjamin Daniel Drake, new registration, so a youngster getting a pro deal. He's been named on the bench a couple of times. His agent is David Jackett. So that's interesting. Is that Kenny Jackett's son? Is he related to Kenny Jackett in any way? Quite an unusual surname. Not really seen that around. Really. Daniel Kelly. Femi Aziz. Now, Ryan Smith, the former footballer. Ryan Smith played for Millwall a couple of times. He has 2 players. He is an agent. He is a registered agent. Yeah, he has 2 Millwall players here. Jaden Celestine Charles, the under-21 striker. And there was one further down. Zach Sturge, also he's on loan, not really a Millwall player. So there you go. Also interesting to note is that Zion Fleming, loan out, so that the agent that dealt with that loan out was also Neil Harris's agent. Neil Harris is listed here, new contract, Dean Baker. Zion Fleming, the loan out, Dean Baker. But it says former club, so the agent that dealt with his loan to Burnley represented Millwall, I guess. I don't know. So that's interesting. Also interesting to note is that Macaulay Kevin Langstaff, his agent is Scott Barron. Yes, left back Scott Barron. Him. He's become an agent. So there you go. Another thing that kind of caught my eye, obviously I don't really know what I'm looking at here, but Liam Roberts, new registration. So here, new registration twice. Now, this is the first time I've seen a subcontractor. See here, he has a subcontractor. In that, we got an agent who's representing the player. And that is... So, I think these are the people who got paid by the club. So, the club paid this agent on behalf of this player. Because you see, it just says play, and then it says player and the registering club. So, that's Millwall. So... Liam Roberts. So Matthew Murray is listed, and also Richard Lee. So he's got 2 different agents, and one is a subcontractor. Interesting, but again, I don't really know what I'm looking at. So it says representing. So this is the agent and who they're representing. So, but that's kind of weird. Registering club. So that would be Millwall because they registered him. But then, how is the agent representing... The agent for the player is also representing is also representing Millwall. I don't really know what that means. But then you see like the youngsters here, Jack Howland, new registration, Farrick Sunder, and it just says representing the player. Don't know what that means really, but interesting stuff. So there you go. Yeah, they're all listed here. So Zane Myers. So obviously this was before, he came in, new registration. Moved to Hull, I think. So there you go. Interesting stuff. So, moving on from that, talking about these young players, they are playing tomorrow, and you can watch the game. Oh my God, Hull have equalised. In the 85th minute. It's 1-1. On the 82nd minute, but it's 1-1. Ooh, lovely jubbly. So, Millwall under-21s versus Crewe Alexandra under-21s at the Den, Tuesday afternoon, kick-off at 2 p.m. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. The Lions arrived back in SC16 in good form and picked up a point against Premier Division League, Professional Development League North Division leaders Sheffield United last Tuesday when Frankie Baker converted an equaliser home from the penalty spot. Crewe Alexandra currently sit last place in the Professional Development League North table, 5 points behind Wigan with 2 games in hand. There's no relegation, so they don't have that to play for. The Lions have 4 matches remaining in their league campaign and are just 1 point behind leaders Brentford, having played 1 less game than the Bees. Well, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that has changed because Brentford played today. But before I get to that, I'll tell you the game is at the Den. It costs you £5 to get in. It is 2 p.m. kickoff. So why not? Why not? So let's have a look at this. Oh dear. Got caught. They caught me. Brentford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. They dropped 2 points today. Don't want to drop those points. So what that means is the table looks like this. Now Brentford have now just played that game in hand. They did drop points, but they are still 2 points ahead of us. If Mill win tomorrow, they can go top, albeit probably temporarily, because Brentford, again, they have that game in hand, and they are only going to be 1 point behind. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game. The thing with this division is that, the games are kind of a bit ad hoc, fit them in where they can, to some extent, no rhyme or reason. Some clubs try to have some kind of pattern, was they play on a Tuesday or a Friday or a Monday, and it's usually afternoon. A lot of clubs go for the evening kickoffs at a non-league ground where fans can go and turn up. So there you go. A win tomorrow will see us go back to top of the table, and that not only that, there are other games happening tomorrow. So tomorrow at lunchtime, as well as we have Bournemouth, obviously playing Sheffield United. That's going to be a tough game, but I think Bournemouth are pretty good at home, so I could see them steamrolling Sheffield United, because Sheffield United don't really have that much to play for. But Brentford, you think, well, they have 2 games in hand, which if they win them, will take them to... they have 1 game in hand. Well, they have 1 game in hand on Millwall, but 2 games in hand on Charlton. So we don't really need to be looking at Charlton. We need to be looking at Bournemouth. So if Bournemouth win that game in hand, they're only going to be 1 point behind us on the same amount of games. But obviously we play tomorrow, so then we go back to being 1 game ahead of them, so they still have a game in hand on us. But again, if we slip up, Bournemouth could come in and nick that 2nd place. Charlton are playing tomorrow. They're playing Birmingham at home. Obviously, we're playing Crewe, and what else have we got? Now, Brentford are actually playing on Good Friday, which is kind of weird. Playing on Good Friday. They're playing, because I don't think the Premier League are playing, they're just playing on Saturday, aren't they? So, yeah. But they're playing away at Watford. So that's going to be their game in hand, and then hopefully they drop points in that, and then that will set us up to winning the league. So this is the next week, tomorrow and the next week ahead, in terms of the under-21s trying to win this league. And you can go there and watch it tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the Den. School holidays, kids still on holiday, aren't they? Take them down there. I think it costs £1 for them to get in, £5 for you. Bring as many as you can. Get them making some noise. They love it. Now, moving on to this, Dockers Day 2025 took place at the Den. We've got some pictures from the celebration. So Millwall Football Club celebrated its annual Dockers Day on Saturday, with this year's edition being dedicated to remembering the life of Dave Mehmet. Alongside former teammates, members of the Mehmet family attended the 1-0 win over Middlesbrough and were presented to supporters at half-time for a lap of appreciation. And here we have pictures from that at half-time. I'd like to thank the fans for their applause for Dave Mehmet's daughter from all four stands to make it a special Dockers Day for us and Dave's family, said Chris Bethel, organiser of Dockers Day. Take a look at a gallery of images from Dockers Day above. So that's obviously Dave Mehmet's daughter there. Former players, some of which you may or may not recognise. Obviously they've changed a lot, quite a lot. But there you go. Now, shirts, the team shirts, not those Dockers Day shirts, are up for auction. Match-worn shirts from Millwall versus Middlesbrough up for auction. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. Match-worn shirts from Millwall Sky Bet Championship win over Middlesbrough are up for auction. Place your bid on the starting 11s tops by next weekend and own a piece of Millwall history. Click on the link above to get going. So, let's click on the link to get going. This is from matchwornshirt.com. This is the auction. Now, interestingly enough, there is a shirt missing, and I wonder if is that because of something I said during previous auctions, or whether Negley's just refused to part with it because it's his first goal. I said this before. They auctioned shirts off before, and I think it was Bangor Williams. He scored his first goal. I don't think it was the FA Cup. It might have been the FA Cup Dagenham thing, or it might be been his first league goal. I can't remember. The auctions is probably still up here but they listed Bangor Williams shirt, and these are match-worn shirts. So I was like, that's a bit sore. That's a bit rough. The kid scores his first goal, and you're auctioning off his shirt. Now I wonder, obviously, then you wonder, do they swap it out? Do they just get one from the club shop and just switch it? I'm thinking, and then that's a bit dodgy on its own. You know what I mean? If you're selling match-worn shirts, you got to be selling match-worn shirts. Now, technically, I guess he could wear a shirt. Oh no, probably not, because they're different. He could wear a shirt in training, get it a bit dirty, and then they could swap that out. I guess it's kind of like match-worn, but they don't have Negley's shirt. So obviously that was Negley's first goal. So I'm assuming if he's not willing to put it out for auction, or they've figured, okay, yeah, we need to let him keep his shirt. Or maybe Bangor Williams just doesn't care about keeping shirts. Like, he's like, shirt smirts, like, doesn't matter. Like, I scored 1 goal, I scored 2 goals, I scored 3 goals, I scored 4 goals. Why do I want to keep a shirt when I score a goal? Because I'm going to score loads of them, so it don't really matter. Maybe it's like not like sentimental like that. It doesn't really matter. But interesting to see that we've got some shirts missing. Although there are other players missing, so maybe it's just the first 11. I went on that massive rant talking about shit. It's just the first starting 11. It isn't the subs that came on, because we don't have any. We don't have. Who came on? We don't have any Aziz. It's just the starting 11. So, okay, ignore what I just said, because that's all nonsense. It's just the starting 11, which is weird. But I think because they've done so many auctions now, that when they were auctioning off the sub shirts, even the ones that played or didn't play, they weren't getting that much money. You can see like George Honeyman's 60 quid, Joe Bryan's 60 quid. That's quite high. Obviously, this is quite unique in that this is a game we actually won. I think we've only had one other game, so this is the second where they've auctioned it off, and it's after a game that we've actually won. And here you go, look at this. So Ivanovic is £200 so far. There's 5 days left. Billy Mitchell 117. So obviously this is the game that he put the performance in, and the fans I want that shirt. I want that shirt because that was the game. So there you go. Or I guess because they can't get the goal scorer shirt. But there you go. There you go. Now, I think that's it. On that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.